You don't see him right now, but he sees you. He knows what's going on. There is nothing that you are doing. I don't care what you think you're telling your congregation. I don't care what you think you're pulling over on other people. I see what's going on, and I am going to call you on it. And so this is the revelation of him as the Messiah. And we found out that in the very beginning that this book is written, this is written to the dulos, the bond servants of Yeshua. This is not to casual Christians. It's not to pew warmers. It's not for innocent bystanders. They will never understand it. It's not written to them. They can't even grasp the simplest concepts. They can write plenty of books on them, and you can go to the library and find dozens of books written by people who are not really sold out servants of the Messiah, who've got all this pagan sun worship all mixed in with it, who've never gotten their garments cleaned up, and they are going to give you their opinions, but their opinions aren't worth listening to. Oh, I know in America, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. That simply means that stupidity and ignorance are not capital offenses whereby you can be executed. That's all that people entitled to their own opinion. Doesn't mean I have to listen to them. Doesn't mean they're worthy to be listened to, but they can have them. I don't care. Atheists can have an opinion, but it's a stupid opinion. It's absolutely asinine to think that this all just happened, that we're just a result of millions of different chance mutations in a purely mechanical universe, and there is no God. I mean, I can't even fathom such stupidity. It's beyond ridiculous. And yet, these people are listened to as if their opinion counts. Your opinion, if you're an atheist, get your head out of the sand, as they do in Australia with those ostriches. Okay, so this is from John. He has been boiled in oil for the witness of Messiah. He is exiled on the Isle of Patmos, and he is taken away in the Spirit to the day of the Lord, the day of Yahovah. And he is given a message to write this to the seven Kahilah. And we strain not to use the word church, because William Tyndale only used the word church twice when he translated the New Testament, and both times in reference to pagan temples. Okay? It's the Kahilah, it's the assemblies, it's the congregations, and we then see that John was taken by revelation and he sees Yeshua, and we have to read this very quickly. I turned to see the voice that spoke with me, and when I turned, I saw, in verse 12, 7 golden lampstands. In the midst of these lampstands, I saw one who appeared like to be the Son of Man, clothed with a haluk down to his feet and girded about with a golden sash. His hair and his beard were like wool, white as snow, his eyes like a flaming fire. His feet looked like polished brass that had been refined in a furnace. His voice was like the sound of roaring oceans. In his right hand he had 7 stars, and the words out of his mouth cut like a sharp two-edged sword. His face burned brighter than the strength of the sun, and when I saw him, I fell at his feet like a dead man. He laid his right hand on me and said, "Fear not. I am the first and the last. I am he who was dead and now lives. Behold, I am alive forevermore, and I have the keys to death and the grave." And then he said, "Write the things which you've just seen, and the things which are now, and the things that shall be in the future." And that is the outline of the book of Revelation. What did he just see? He saw Yeshua in all of his glory. He's not an 8-pound, 6-ounce baby. He has got fire in his eyes, and he has got something to say, and we are now going to see, because he says, the significance of those stars you saw in my right hand, and these lampstands, the 7 stars are the messengers of these 7 Kahilah, the 7 assemblies. And the lampstands are those 7 assemblies. In other words, I'm walking among them, I see what's going on, and these messengers are in my hand, and they are going to be given a message to give to you, because you need to know what's going to happen in the day of Yahovah. So we begin with the first letter to Ephesus. Now, we're going to see in each one of these letters, there is the authority by which Yohanan is speaking this. Then, after the authority, is the praise. Then there is a grievance. You know, you've been doing a good job, but we need to sit down and have a little chat right now, because you're messing up. And then there's a warning. If you don't straighten out, this is what's going to happen. And then there's the counsel. of what to do about it, and then, finally, the promise, where he takes us all the way to the end of the book of Revelation to show us that all the gloom, all the tragedy, all the bloodshed will be worth all the rays of ravishing light and glory at the end. That it is all worth it. And that is what each one of these letters do. So let's start to Ephesus. To the messenger of the Kehillah at Ephesus write, these things saith he who holds the 7 stars in his right hand and walks in the midst of the 7 golden lampstands. See, that's his authority. What is he referring back to? The very image of Yeshua, who has the stars in his right hand and walks among the assemblies. In other words, you're not going to fool him with anything. You don't see him right now, but he sees you. He knows what's going on. There is nothing that you are doing, and I don't care what you think you're telling your congregation. I don't care what you think you're pulling over on other people. I see what's going on, and I am going to call you on it. Verse 2, I know your works and your labors and your endurance and how you cannot bear those who are evil. You have tried those who claim to be apostles but are not, and you have found them to be liars. You have endured patiently, and you have labored in my name and have not fainted. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what I would like you to do this week, before we come back together, and that's all of you out in the cyberspace as well in the television world, I want you to write a letter to yourself from Yeshua. I want you to go back and find something in the description of Yeshua, and thus saith he who has the keys of death and hell, for instance, as we see one of these. To Smyrna, these things saith the first and the last, he who is dead and is now alive. To Pergamos, these things saith he who has the sharp sword with 2 edges. To Sardis, these things saith he who has the 7 spirits of Yahovah and the 7 stars. To Thyatira, these things saith the son of Yahovah, who has eyes like a burning flame and feet like burnished glass. I want you to read those things and to see what communicates to you, and then what does he have good to say about you. And believe me, he has something very specific and something very good to say to you. You spend time in prayer, you spend quiet time, and you ask him, and he will tell you what it is that he loves and adores about you. And then, after you get that written, then I want, down the next line, put big letters, but. Because there's always a but with Yeshua. No matter what you're doing, no matter how good you think you are, you ain't all that, okay? And that is really, asking the Spirit, see, he is in you. He will speak to you. And he will tell you the big but. Figuratively speaking. He will tell you what needs to be considered, okay? And then you can go through, and then the warning, and just go through that. And when we come back next week, what I want you to do is I want you to write me this week, and you can be anonymous, okay? You don't have to say, dear, first and last name, okay? Just use your first name, or when you send it to me, send it to me, because I want to see what is happening in your life, how the Spirit is speaking to you, because I believe that we have been called in this generation. We are the culmination of every generation that's gone before us. We are the ones that are living to see a time that our grandparents would never have to deal with. We've got fish to fry that they have no idea, nor could they fry them. But we are standing on their shoulders, and we are living under generational blessings. That's why we're here. I'm tired of hearing of generational curses. Break them and let's get on with it, okay? How about the generational blessings from our forefathers taking a stand and doing the right thing, and here it's in our hands. What are we going to do with it? We're going to just let it go down the toilet? Are we just going to flush it?